Listen to me, people of God. There is a position where favor speaks without your voice. There is a position where doors open without your knock. There is a position where help locates you without your search. And there is also a position where struggle becomes your daily companion, where begging becomes your language, where borrowing becomes your survival. The difference between these two lives is not strength, it is not education, it is not connection, it is position. Position determines provision. Position determines protection. Position determines promotion. Many people are not suffering because God has abandoned them. They are suffering because they are standing in the wrong position. When you are out of position, even small problems look like mountains. When you are out of position, even small needs become heavy burdens. When you are out of position, you will find yourself begging for what should naturally belong to you. But when you are in position, things begin to align. When you are in position, favor begins to flow. When you are in position, you do not chase blessings. Blessings begin to chase you. This is why this prayer is dangerous. This is why this prayer is powerful. This is why this prayer can change everything. Lord, keep me in position. Not position before men, but position before you. Not position of pride, but position of purpose. Not position of noise, but position of obedience. Because when you are in the right position before God, you will never need to beg man. Listen carefully. The sun does not beg the sky to shine. The river does not beg the earth to flow. The tree does not beg the soil to grow. Why? Because they are in position. When you are in position, supply becomes natural. But when you are out of position, struggle becomes normal. You wake up struggling. You sleep struggling. You pray struggling. You live struggling. Some of you here, your spirit is tired. Not because you are weak, but because you have been fighting battles that are not yours. You have been forcing doors that God never assigned to you. You have been chasing places where your name was never written. When you are out of position, you will work harder but achieve less. You will run faster but arrive nowhere. Position is not about location. Position is about alignment. A fish is powerful in water, but powerless on land. An eagle is powerful in the sky, but weak in a cage. It is the same eagle, the same strength, the same wings, but the wrong position makes it powerless. Some of you are not weak. You are simply out of position. You are trying to survive in places where you were designed to rule. You are trying to beg in places where you were meant to be honored. You are trying to struggle in places where you were meant to be favored. But today, something must change. Lift your heart and say, Lord, keep me in position. Because when God keeps you in position, you will not need to beg for opportunities. Opportunities will recognize you. When God keeps you in position, you will not need to borrow peace. Peace will live inside you. When God keeps you in position, you will not need to struggle for survival. Provision will locate you. There is a position called obedience. Obedience is not always comfortable, but it is always powerful. Obedience will take you where favor lives. Many people want favor, but they reject obedience. They want harvest, but they reject planting. They want promotion, but they reject preparation. You cannot reject obedience and expect favor. Obedience positions you for provision. When you obey God, you may not understand the process, but you will experience the result. When you obey God, you may not see the path clearly, but you will arrive safely. Some of you, God has been speaking to you, but you have been delaying. God has been directing you, but you have been doubting. God has been calling you, but you have been hiding. Delay is dangerous. Delay can move you out of position. One step of obedience can move you into a lifetime of favor. One decision of obedience can move you out of years of struggle. This is why you must pray, Lord, keep me in position. Because there are positions that look attractive, but are destructive. There are opportunities that look good, but are dangerous. There are doors that open, but lead to emptiness. Not every open door is from God. Position is not about being everywhere. Position is about being where God wants you to be. When you are in the wrong position, you will meet the wrong people. When you are in the wrong position, you will fight unnecessary battles. When you are in the wrong position, you will experience unnecessary pain. But when you are in the right position, even your enemies will become your helpers. When you are in the right position, even your weakness will become your strength. When you are in the right position, even your delay will become your preparation. Lord, keep me in position. Keep my mind in position, because a mind out of position creates a life out of position. Keep my heart in position, because a heart out of position attracts pain. Keep my spirit in position, because a spirit out of position loses direction. There are people who lost their position because of pride. Pride disconnects you from favor. Pride blinds you from truth. Pride makes you leave places where you are blessing lives. Stay humble. Humility preserves position. There are people who lost their position because of impatience. Impatience makes you move before your time. Impatience makes you leave before your season. Impatience makes you abort your blessing. Stay patient. Patience protects position. There are people who lost their position because of fear. Fear makes you run from your assignment. Fear makes you hide from your purpose. Fear makes you abandon your destiny. Stay courageous. Courage secures position. You must understand this truth. Struggle is not always a sign of effort. Sometimes struggle is a sign of misalignment. When you are in position, things may not be easy, but they will be meaningful. When you are in position, you may face challenges, but you will not be defeated, because position gives you authority. When you are in position, you do not beg for respect. Respect recognizes you. When you are in position, you do not beg for help. Help locates you. When you are in position, you do not beg for survival. Survival becomes your portion. This is why you must pray every day, Lord, keep me in position. Keep me away from distractions that remove me from position. Keep me away from people who disconnect me from position. Keep me away from decisions that destroy my position. Because the greatest tragedy is not failure. The greatest tragedy is being alive but out of position. There are people who are alive physically but dead spiritually because they are out of position. There are people who are working physically but stuck spiritually because they are out of position. There are people who are moving physically but stagnant spiritually because they are out of position. Position is everything. When you are in position, even small effort produces great results. When you are out of position, even great effort produces small results. You must value your position more than your comfort, because comfort can deceive you, but position will protect you. Sometimes God will remove you from comfortable places to preserve your position. Sometimes God will close doors to protect your position. Sometimes God will allow discomfort to redirect your position. Do not fight what God is using to reposition you. Repositioning may feel painful, but it is purposeful. Because where God is taking you, begging will not be your language. Where God is taking you, borrowing will not be your lifestyle. Where God is taking you, struggle will not define you. Lift your voice in your heart and say, Lord, keep me in position. Position my thoughts so I do not think like a victim. Position my spirit so I do not live like a slave. Position my life so I do not struggle like the forgotten. There is a position where peace lives. There is a position where favor lives. There is a position where abundance lives. And that position is found in alignment with God. When you walk with God, you walk into provision. When you walk with God, you walk into protection. When you walk with God, you walk into purpose. You will not need to beg, because favor will speak for you. You will not need to borrow, because provision will locate you. You will not need to struggle, because grace will carry you. This prayer must become your daily cry. Not once, not sometimes, every day. Lord, keep me in position when I am weak. Lord, keep me in position when I am confused. Lord, keep me in position when I am tired. Because weakness can move you out of position. Confusion can move you out of position. Tiredness can move you out of position. You must depend on God to preserve your position. Because there are forces that want you out of position. Forces that want you distracted. Forces that want you discouraged. Forces that want you defeated. But when God keeps you in position, no force can remove you. When God keeps you in position, no enemy can stop you. When God keeps you in position, no delay can destroy you. You will rise without begging. You will stand without borrowing. You will live without struggling, because you are in position. Receive this truth in your spirit. Your life is not designed for begging. Your destiny is not designed for borrowing. Your purpose is not designed for struggling. Your life is designed for alignment. Your life is designed for favor. Your life is designed for divine position. Make this your prayer every morning. Before you speak to anyone, speak to God. Before you move anywhere, connect to God. Before you decide anything, surrender to God and say, Lord, keep me in position so I do not have to beg, borrow, or struggle. Keep me where your favor can find me. Keep me where your grace can sustain me. Keep me where your purpose can fulfill me. Because when you keep me in position, my life will never be the same. Listen to me carefully. There is a place in the spirit where supply is no longer a struggle. There is a place where provision does not depend on your strength, your connections, or your circumstances. There is a place where your daily needs are answered before your daily worries begin. That place is called spiritual alignment. Spiritual alignment is not something you see with your physical eyes. It is something you experience with your spirit. It is the condition of your inner man being connected to the source of life. When your spirit is aligned, your life begins to flow. When your spirit is aligned, your needs begin to meet provision. When your spirit is aligned, your daily supply becomes secured. Many people are alive physically, but disconnected spiritually. They wake up, but they are not aligned. They move, but they are not aligned. They work, but they are not aligned. This is why they struggle for what others receive naturally. This is why they fight for what others attract peacefully. This is why they beg for what should belong to them. Misalignment creates struggle. Alignment creates supply. When your phone is disconnected from power, its strength begins to decrease. It does not matter how expensive the phone is. It does not matter how new the phone is. Without connection to power, it becomes weak. In the same way, when your spirit is disconnected from God, your life begins to lose strength. Your peace begins to fade. Your clarity begins to disappear. Your supply begins to slow down. Spiritual alignment is your connection to divine supply. When you are spiritually aligned, your mind becomes calm even when situations are uncertain. When you are spiritually aligned, your heart becomes strong even when circumstances are weak. When you are spiritually aligned, your life becomes stable even when the world around you is unstable. Supply is not controlled by your environment. Supply is controlled by your alignment. There are people who have everything physically, but are empty spiritually. They have money, but no peace. They have opportunities, but no direction. They have resources, but no fulfillment. This is the result of spiritual misalignment. There are also people who have little physically, but are rich spiritually. They have peace without explanation. They have favor without effort. They have supply without struggle. This is the result of spiritual alignment. Spiritual alignment attracts what your life needs. When you are aligned, favor finds you. When you are aligned, wisdom guides you. When you are aligned, provision locates you. You do not chase everything because everything begins to locate you. Your daily supply is not a product of luck. It is a product of alignment. Each day has its own needs. Each day has its own demands. Each day has its own challenges. But when you are spiritually aligned, each day also has its own provision. You will notice that solutions appear when problems arise. You will notice that help appears when needs arise. You will notice that strength appears when weakness arises. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. Spiritual alignment positions you under divine flow. When you are under divine flow, supply does not stop. It may change form, but it does not stop. It may change direction, but it does not stop. Many people depend only on physical sources. They depend on jobs, people, systems, and opportunities. But physical sources are limited. They can fail. They can disappear. They can change. But divine supply does not fail. When you are spiritually aligned, you are connected to a source that never runs dry. Even when one door closes, another opens. Even when one opportunity ends, another begins. Even when one path disappears, another path appears. Alignment keeps you connected to continuous supply. Spiritual alignment also protects you from unnecessary loss. When you are aligned, you receive direction. When you receive direction, you avoid wrong decisions. When you avoid wrong decisions, you avoid unnecessary pain. Many people suffer not because supply is unavailable, but because they moved out of alignment. They followed emotions instead of guidance. They followed pressure instead of peace. They followed fear instead of faith. Alignment protects your life from wrong movement. When you are spiritually aligned, you do not move because of panic. You move because of purpose. You do not decide because of fear. You decide because of clarity. This clarity secures your daily supply because it keeps you on the path where provision flows. Spiritual alignment also strengthens your inner man. Your inner man is the foundation of your outer life. When your inner man is weak, your outer life becomes unstable. When your inner man is strong, your outer life becomes stable. Alignment strengthens your inner man. It gives you peace in uncertainty. It gives you confidence in difficulty. It gives you hope in delay. This strength allows you to stand without fear because you know your supply is secured. Supply is not only financial. Supply includes peace. Supply includes strength. Supply includes wisdom. Supply includes favor. When you are spiritually aligned, all these supplies become available to you daily. You receive wisdom for decisions. You receive strength for challenges. You receive peace for pressure. You receive favor for opportunities. Alignment opens the door for daily provision in every area of your life. Spiritual alignment also removes the spirit of lack. Lack begins in the spirit before it appears in physical life. When your spirit feels disconnected, your life begins to experience lack. But when your spirit is aligned, lack loses its power. You begin to experience sufficiency. You begin to experience stability. You begin to experience supply. Alignment changes your spiritual atmosphere. Your atmosphere determines what your life attracts. When your atmosphere is filled with fear, you attract limitation. When your atmosphere is filled with faith, you attract provision. Spiritual alignment fills your atmosphere with faith, peace, and confidence. This atmosphere attracts daily supply. Spiritual alignment also trains your heart to trust. Trust removes anxiety. Anxiety weakens your spirit. Trust strengthens your spirit. When your spirit is strong, you remain connected to supply. Fear disconnects people from alignment. Fear makes people act outside divine guidance. Fear makes people move ahead of their time. Fear makes people abandon their position. But alignment removes fear. You begin to trust that your supply is secured. You begin to trust that your life is guided. You begin to trust that your needs will be met. This trust keeps you connected to supply. Spiritual alignment is maintained daily. It is not a one-time event. It is a daily decision. Each day you choose alignment. Each day you choose connection. Each day you choose faith. Daily alignment secures daily supply. When you neglect alignment, your connection becomes weak. When your connection becomes weak, your supply becomes inconsistent. But when you maintain alignment, your connection remains strong. A strong connection secures continuous supply. Spiritual alignment also brings discipline to your life. Discipline keeps you focused. Discipline keeps you stable. Discipline keeps you connected. Without discipline, distractions remove people from alignment. Distractions weaken spiritual connection. Distractions create confusion. Distractions delay supply. But alignment protects your focus. You remain connected to what truly matters. You remain connected to the source of your strength. You remain connected to the source of your supply. Spiritual alignment also creates sensitivity. Sensitivity allows you to recognize divine direction. When you recognize direction, you avoid wrong paths. Wrong paths lead to struggle. Right paths lead to supply. Alignment helps you recognize right paths. This recognition secures your daily supply. Spiritual alignment also builds endurance. Endurance allows you to remain strong during delay. Delay does not mean denial. Delay is often preparation. Alignment gives you the strength to endure delay without losing faith. Endurance keeps you connected until supply manifests. Spiritual alignment also releases favor. Favor makes difficult things easier. Favor opens closed doors. Favor connects you to opportunities. Favor is attracted to alignment. When favor operates in your life, your daily supply becomes secured. Spiritual alignment also removes confusion. Confusion creates wrong decisions. Wrong decisions create struggle. Alignment brings clarity. Clarity helps you make decisions that protect your supply. Spiritual alignment also strengthens your faith. Faith keeps you connected to invisible supply before visible supply appears. Faith sustains you during waiting. Faith strengthens you during testing. Faith secures you during uncertainty. Faith keeps your spirit aligned. Spiritual alignment also produces peace. Peace protects your spirit from stress. Stress weakens spiritual connection. Peace strengthens alignment. Strong alignment secures daily supply. Spiritual alignment keeps your life connected to divine flow. This flow carries provision. This flow carries favor. This flow carries strength. When you remain in this flow, your daily supply remains secured. Your responsibility is alignment. Divine responsibility is supply. When you maintain alignment, supply follows naturally. When you protect your alignment, you protect your supply. When you strengthen your alignment, you strengthen your supply. Spiritual alignment secures your daily supply because it keeps you connected to the source that never fails.